Hello, pumpkins! Today I am doing a review and giving my thoughts on the YouTuber and pop culture psychic Antphrodite. If you are new to my channel, please do subscribe. You're welcome here. As well, if you would like to book a private reading, you can do so at www.carolineironwell.com. I'll leave the link for that below. When I started my YouTube channel, it was always for the purpose of supporting my tarot business. I talk about some other things, but that was kind of my main thing. And then I thought, well, if I do readings on pop culture issues, then that should bring in some more viewers because people will be searching for those trending topics, and then I will have a reading on it. So if someone's searching for James Charles, hopefully as my algorithm grows and my channel grows, my reading for James Charles will pop up. That was kind of my plan, and as I started to release videos, many people recommended to me a YouTuber, Antphrodite, and so I thought I would check him out, and I did. I have been a professional tarot reader for a while, long time. So I've been full-time pro for about 3 years. I have been doing this professionally for probably close to 10 years now. And I've been reading tarot for about 20 years. So I've been around the block a few times, and I've come across many tarot readers of many different styles and brands, some with more success than I do, some who are just new. And whenever I see another tarot reader, I always try to not think of them as competition, but to think of them as colleagues, and if they are far more successful than I am, then to think of them as an inspiration. So I think with Antphrodite, he falls into that category of inspiration. Now, there are some tarot readers who I try to learn from their mistakes and not repeat them, but I really try to not approach with jealousy. Yeah, when I did my review of Ms. Ashy Cat, I was like, how the heck does she have 4 times as many subscribers as I do? But then I remembered a quote from my choir director in high school, and he said, "Be a vision, not a scene." And I think that Ms. Ashy Cat is a scene right now, and people are having difficulty looking away from a train wreck. But I think that Antphrodite is a vision of inspiration, so I want to talk about him a bit. I really love that he has his branding down packed, like his colors, he's got the whole gay best friend thing. Normally I'm not a fan of YouTubers who show their bedroom. I just, like, no offense to anyone who does that personally, like, especially if you're coming from like a professional point of view, I don't want to see your bed. But with Antphrodite, it's almost like having a sleepover with your gay best friend. And so, you know, everything's pink, everything's frilly, but at the same point, he, I think, does operate as a professional. So there's a really good balance there with the branding. I love how invested he gets in his readings. Like, sometimes I'm reminded of a teenager watching a horror film and like being really scared of the horror film because he's so invested in it, which I think is, number one, the sign of a very good tarot reader, and number two, because he's not using his own bias. He's not using his own thoughts. These are the cards as they're going. So he does talk very fast, but it's because he's so invested in the cards. But it's like, oh my goodness, look what's gonna happen. Oh, I don't like this. And I think that's, yeah, adorable. Sorry if that came across as being patronizing. It's not meant to be. I really enjoy watching these. I have said many times on my channel that I want to get a double screen set up where I have one screen on my face and one screen on my my cards. To do that, I will need a bigger desk, probably more room. I will need another camera, which right now I have a $20 one stuck to my wall. If you watched my video yesterday of the tour of my office, I would need a rig to have that camera looking down. I'd have to know the tech of how to do a split screen. I love the borders that he has, so I'd have to learn how to do that with my own color scheme and what works for me. So there's a lot of steps that I have to do, but I'm inspired, and I'm not trying to copy him. I want to be inspired by him. There have been a few readings that Antphrodite has done that have touched on some topics, and I found it really interesting, and I've decided to do my own reading on it. And again, that's not to copy him. I'm actually interested in what outcome I'd get, yeah, and many times we're on the same page. I think that his knowledge of the cards is down-packed, and I think that that is what makes a lot of difference. He's not taking a moment to think, what does that mean again? Like that card comes up and he knows that means that, and that means that, and that means that. And I love how he explains how each card has that meaning. And though the cards do kind of have a meaning that's in common with many other readers, often people have different training, or they develop their own individual meanings for different cards. So for instance, most people associate the Five of Pentacles, or the Five of Coins with poverty and with loss. Sometimes I have also seen it mean lack of security, and someone could be wealthy but they have feelings of scarcity or fears of scarcity. But in my personal interpretation of that card, I often see it come up with people who work with those people who are underprivileged. So I see the Five of Pence come up often in terms of people who are looking into working with like underprivileged kids, or working with the poor, being a social worker, someone like that who works in like a charity capacity, or a not-for-profit. So that's kind of how my personal interpretation is. So I like when he's explaining that, how he has different interpretations of the cards than I do, which makes sense and works for him, and I may end up adopting. So for me, like, I've always seen the Justice card reversed as being something that is unfair, something that is unjust, that justice didn't pay the court, justice wasn't served. But in a reading the other day, he had said that justice reversed is about breaking the law. And I thought, that makes so much sense. So even though I've been reading tarot for 20 years, I learned something new. And I think that's really important for any tarot reader, to learn something new and to try something different. And you can divine with anything. So divination is the practice of divining, essentially fortune telling. So he used pieces, like little pins for Crocs. He had a bag of them, and he was pulling them out, and each of them he interpreted the meaning, and I thought that was really, really cool. That's how divination started, was with nature. It's called augury. So seeing 3 birds on a tree can mean something different than 2 birds on a tree. Different clouds can mean different things. I've heard people say that if they see a truck drive by with a ladder on top, that can mean something different than if the ladder's on the side. And so looking at signs around us, looking at nature around us, and applying our intuition to that is really how things work. Because my theory on how tarot works is that we are all connected, and when we tap into that connection, then everything just clicks and makes sense. And then with altered states of consciousness, such as meditation, we can start to hack the operating system of the things that connect us all. So my review of Antphrodite is incredibly positive. I would love to collab. Antphrodite, if you ever watch this, hi! I'm a tarot reader too, and I think you're awesome, and I would love to hear about your branding. I would love to hear about your rig and how you've got that set up with the cameras. You can do a video on that and give a tour of your office like I did, or you can, just email me. But yeah, I think you're super awesome. I try my best not to give 100% reviews on anything, so nothing's ever 100% bad or 100% good. So the one criticism that I have is I would like to know what decks you're using and who the artist is. Tarot decks are a lot of work to make. There's 72 cards, and somebody worked hard on that. So at the beginning of every time I do a reading, I hold up the deck and I'm like, this is the Gilded Tarot by Sarah Machete. This is the Legend of Arthurian Tarot by Anne-Marie Ferguson. This is the Wildwood Tarot by Will Worthington. So that not only do my viewers know if they'd like to purchase the deck, but I'm also giving credit to the artist. So I think that's the one thing I would like, because there's sometimes that if you're watching this Antphrodite, you've got this deck going. I'm like, oh, this is a pretty deck. I wish I knew which one it was. Now, a tip, this is a pro tip, even though I'm little and you're big. Pro tip, if you go to Amazon your Amazon website, it doesn't work on your phone. You have to do it on a computer. Scroll down to the bottom, click Amazon Associates, and you can actually get an affiliate code. So whenever I post an affiliate code, or I post a link to, oh, you can buy this on Amazon, it's an affiliate code, and I actually get 1% of that purchase, which it's next to nothing because my channel is so small. I maybe make $10 a year off of Amazon, but it's $10 I didn't have before, and somebody has a new tarot deck they love. So that's a really cool thing that you could do to make some extra money and also give some credit to the artist. That's kind of the only thing that I would like to see. Otherwise, keep up the good work. If you would like to email me, Caroline@carolineIronwell.com. I'm actually going to contact you on Twitter and send you this. You have no idea who I am. Whether or not you watch this is up to you. But yeah, I wanted to say thank you for operating with integrity. There was another YouTuber who tore down tarot readers and said that all tarot readers are scams and frauds, and specifically mentioned you, actually mispronouncing your name. You are Antphrodite, not Aphrodite. Oddly enough, this person's husband reads runes, so apparently tarot is naughty, but runes are okay. And like called for us to be deplatforming, although this creator claims to be against cancel culture. They want all tarot readers to be deplatformed because they don't believe in tarot. But whatever. You're awesome. You operate with integrity. I can tell that you are using your knowledge and skills. I personally don't use the word psychic. I think it's a lot of pressure, and I think that there's a lot of misconception about what that word means, but I'm totally supportive of you using that word if that's something that you identify with. So thank you. Thank you for providing an inspiration and example of what tarot can be. To my pumpkins, if you would like to book a private reading, you can do so at the link below, www.carolineIronwell.com. You can support this channel also by buying me a coffee or buying Merlin a TREAT. You can do so at the link below. Thank you so much and have a great day. Bye, pumpkins.